Hey guys, welcome back to the Hear Me Roar pod. I am Tobi and my co-host is none other than the Kate Save, which you might know her from Shark Tank. She's also founder of BeFit Foods and picked up Telstra's Business of the Year award too. Kate?
Well, Tobi, you've got a super impressive CV, 25 years in global commercialisation experience, and you founded Creative Cubes, Australia's leading co-working space and real estate business.
All right, let's get on with the pod. Kate, episode 1.
Here we are.
We are. Finally, this has been a work in progress for many, many months, and I'm grateful to be co-hosting with you.
I love how quickly you move. Here we are.
Yeah, I know, right? Actually, talk about move. I saw you on the Reformer, the Pilates Reformer.
I do love my Pilates.
Talk to me about your morning routine.
I get up. I always start with a tea before a coffee. Huberman says take 90 minutes.
Okay.
I probably take 30 before I have to have the coffee.
Yep.
Then I head outside. I either go for a run or I go to Pilates. Maybe I'll do some weights in the gym if I'm really bored. I don't love that, but I know it's good for me.
Yeah, I don't love weights either.
Yeah.
But I know how important it is.
And you always feel amazing. What's your morning routine?
So what time do you start though?
Oh, 5:15.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and if I snooze, it's only to 5:22.
Not 20. 5:22.
5:22.
I love that. I'm a 4 a.m.er.
Oh, next level entrepreneur.
I'm a 4 a.m.er. Not to like prove a point. It's just that's the way it is.
Jeez.
In fact, if I go to sleep at like 10:01, I'll wake up at 4:01. But if I go to sleep at 9:55, I'll wake up at 5 to 4. Like it's just I'm ready to go.
Good.
I don't look at my phone until 7:30. So I get up. I go downstairs. I kind of potter around the house for a little bit, just making sure the washing's on, the dishes are kind of in train to the sink. Then I've got a little studio in my backyard with Peloton. I've decked it out with Peloton.
Yeah,
I love Peloton. And I turn on the Apple TV with Peloton.
Yeah.
And I lift weights. I hate lifting weights, but I've started to get a lot more into it because I have to.
It is so important, men and women. And once you hit 40...
Oh, well, I'm over that hill already, but by 10%. But, I've suffered from a bad back over the last few years.
That's why I do Pilates.
Yeah. And so lifting weights has actually helped me sort of keep the back in check.
Yeah.
But I do 20 minutes weights, 20 to 45 minute run, 10 minute stretch, and then I do a poor man's ice bath. So what I've got in my house is I've got a freezer in my outdoors.
Yes.
And I take a bucket and I fill it with water from the sink.
Yes.
Put in the outdoor freezer. 24 hours later, it's like 30, maybe 40 kilos of ice in this bucket. And I hike it up the stairs to a bath full of cold water.
Yes.
Drop it in there, continue to pot around, make sure the kids are up and stuff. And then I spend 10 minutes sitting in about 10 degrees. So it's not crazy cold, but like it's cold enough.
And 10 minutes is pushing the limit. I know 3 minutes you get some benefits. 7 minutes is great. 10 minutes is really...
Yeah, I think so. What I understand from the theory, and I'd love to hear from some of our listeners, is that you have to drop your body temp by 2 degrees.
Yes.
So 10 minutes sounds like warrior level, but actually if the water's not like 5 degrees, it takes a little longer to get that body temp down.
Okay.
So it's about 7 to 10 minutes for me to get, depending on what I've done pre. And then I actually leave the water in the bath for a couple of days and then repeat the process.
Yeah.
But I do that 5 mornings a week.
So good.
I'm ready to go at 7:30, take the kids to school and then hit the office.
I might go and jump in the bay. We live in Mount Martha, right near the bay. So if I do Pilates or go for a run without fail, the beach is empty at that time in the morning. I literally just run out into the water in my exercise gear and jump in the car with my coffee. And in winter, kind of leave the car going with heaters on, have the coffee ready to go, run into the beach and then back out again.
I have my heated seats on in my car all year round, even in summer. It's just
good for your back. I feel like it's really therapeutic. It's like a heat pack.
I actually can't sit in a cold seat.
Yeah.
So I love the heated seats. So coming up on today's episode, we actually have an old friend of mine. And when I say old, he's not old. I'm not old. But we go back maybe 30 years.
Yeah.
Justin Kabbani. He's doing some really cool things in the AI category, verticals, and we're gonna pick his brain on a few things. But Juz and I sort of have this history where, as you know from the intro and my bio, I started a company called Pet Loo. And for those of you that are coming into us right now and never heard of Pet Loo, yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a dog toilet. And I had some tremendous success with the Pet Loo. A lot of it was hard work, but a lot of it was actually surrounding myself with professional, like-minded go-getters. And to sort of enable my initial success and actually have my product come off the shelf, Justin helped me build the brand.
Wow.
Justin was responsible for our packaging. He was responsible for our messaging. And he really gave me a platform to be able to take that business globally. I mean, the product was a global product, but actually to be able to have it translated and put on a website. We weren't doing e-commerce back in 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. Yeah. E-com sort of came in late 2000, I reckon 2008, 2009.
Yes.
But he helped me and he's doing some incredible things. So I'm really excited to have him on the show, talk a little bit of banter about the history, but actually then like put him on the platform to share all the things that we're not talking about Allen Iverson here, guys. We're talking about artificial intelligence. Maybe we're talking about Apple intelligence.
Yes.
So I'm excited to have him on the show.
Me too. And what's the brand hero of Pet Loo? That the dog on the front, gorgeous looking dog.
Yeah. So that was my dog, Subi.
Good choice to put him on the cover.
Yeah. Juz took a still shot of Subi and transformed her into a cartoon character.
Yes.
And 10 years, Subs and I traveled the world and took this product wherever we went.
So cool.
So Juzzy will be on in a minute. A quick break though, before we get there.
Sounds good.
Guys, you've seen me put out content for years. It all started with James Shadrack from Purpose Productions. We've filmed over 800 vlogs, several hundred different pieces of content that has helped me take my business to the next level. We use Purpose Productions for all the content, pods, vlogs, and storytelling that we produce. Check out purposeproductions.co to learn how James and his amazing team can help you scale your business and get your message out there. Kate, we are graced by the great Justin Kabbani. Juz, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Tobes. So good to be here, and so good to have these memories that go way back.
Yep.
Not quite 20 years.
Wasn't quite. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
2003.
Yeah.
In 2005,
I think it would have been. Yeah.
2005. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
It is 20 years because.
Oh shit.
Here we are.
Yeah. See what happens when you're too busy on the Peloton?
Or you wake up at 4 a.m.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he's probably lived 2 lifetimes already.
It's amazing, right?
Before we've woken up.
Yeah. So, Juz, let's take Kate back to 2005.
Yep.
You started a company called Hard Hat Creative.
Yeah. So, I had I dropped out of uni. I had a bunch of hack creative skills from video production, worked as a wedding photographer, self-taught graphic designer, and seemed like a good idea that we'd start a creative agency. Did that with a high school, good buddy. And but the demand was really around web. With talking back then, you couldn't upload a video to YouTube. Google wasn't the dominant search engine yet. No one had a social media account.
Were we on MySpace? Is that when
Probably on MySpace.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, and
I think my computer was still getting LimeWire diseases from Napster.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh man, were you asking Jeeves?
Yes.
Or were you Hustler Vistering?
I think I was doing both. But actually, one of the things that I do remember, just come back to your brand, is I engaged you before you even had a brand.
Okay, I thought you were going to forget that story.
No.
That it didn't start with Pet Loo, actually.
Hard Hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but Hard Hat didn't exist. Like, I engaged you.
Yeah.
And then you and Daniel.
Yeah.
On the journey of helping me create Pet Loo, decided to create these yellow plastic helmets or buy them and turn your organization into Hard Hat Creative.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
Did you get a hard hat?
Yeah, of course.
What did yours say on the back? Because they all had little names on them.
They
I
did.
was creative guy. There was strategy guy. I remember our accountant, we gave him one that said tax guy. And they were these were from a $2 shop. They were the cheapest, crappiest little kids, hard hats that you could get, and we'd put them in a box with those foam peanuts, right? And we gifted them to people that had given us good advice or helped us along the way. And what's crazy is Like I bumped into that accountant 2-3 years ago, and he just retired, and that sat in his office for 15 years, right? So like the power, of merchandise.
And I can't say anyone's ever given me a hard hat. I'm sure I'd still have it.
We can arrange it.
Yeah.
We can arrange it.
You're going to throw one back?
But wait, so Tob,
yes.
You came to us about eMotivator.
Yes.
Right?
David Goggins-esque, should I say.
When I say we've got to cast our mind back to what life was like before we could watch a video on YouTube, before, let alone forgetting that we can have a conversation with a chatbot that has some history of human knowledge, right, in ChatGPT or something like that. Like, SMS reminders weren't even a thing, right? That was another business that we started back then. And but Tobi came to us. He wanted to build a platform called eMotivator that was basically going to be an online personal trainer, was going to give you reminders to drink water and work out and video content, all this stuff. No idea how we'd build it because like that stuff didn't exist, right? And so we'd been talking about that. And then one day, now we knew Tobes because Tobes had moved down from Sydney and he was dating the very cool Sim, spiky hair back then, still a little bit spiky.
Sim is so cool. Love Sim.
I'm waiting for her to wake up and go, who the hell are you? And how did I get here?
So he brought Sim into the office one day. And I remember sitting at the round table in this tiny little pokey meeting room we're in. And he said, look, we want to start this little side project for Simmy. We've got this idea. We've got the dogs. We're living in an apartment in Elwood. We can't take the dogs out during the day when we're at work. So we want to build this thing called a pet loo. It seemed like a little crazy, but, everything seemed crazy back then.
Flat out crazy. Yeah.
And Tobes had all the ideas and he told us he was getting the molds made and everything was happening. And so we went about designing a brand for this thing, which was pretty amazing. Here was what later became something that got sold to the biggest pet company in the world.
Yep.
And Tobes is briefing like a couple of mates who really before that were making $100 brochures for definitely companies you never heard of. So he had faith in us back then. And but I think like often what happens in the early stage of businesses is you try and replicate everything else. Yeah. You try and replicate the success of others, you try and make your packaging look the same, your brand look the same. And I think that's probably where we went with Mark 1 of Petloo. And Tobes was pushing us. And so again, taking yourself back to 2005, like we couldn't just upload the artwork files. Like I had to rock up with a hard drive to his office, which he was going to send to China. I don't know.
I remember exactly. And I remember you rocking up to our warehouse in Collingwood with a girl. Shirley.
Yep.
And you were like, hey, you're almost panting. You're like, I haven't slept, but I couldn't let you go to market and then you pulled out the hard drive and said, until you had this as packaging, and I like almost fell off my chair.
Wow.
Because it was my little girl, Subi, my dog, like literally reading a newspaper, sitting on the toilet, which was a dog patch of grass. And the way Justin and Shirley captured, it's giving me goosebumps, like genuinely just throwing me back. I think like that was for me, that was like, we've got something here. I can authentically talk about dog toilets because my little girl Subi was on the packaging.
Reading the newspaper.
And it was just such an Aussie sort of swing to it. And yeah, I honestly don't think I would have had half of the success if you would have let me have gone out in a brown cardboard box, because it became such a big product sitting on a shelf.
Yeah,
it took up so much real estate. Yeah. And when people walked past it, it really did capture them. And we went on to win a bunch of awards, and Justin over the time added awards to the grass. We had flowers. My sisters were impregnated. I have a sister, Chelsea. Her nickname was Bunny Rabbit.
On a Petloo?
Yeah, no. We had a little rabbit in there. And my other sister, G, we call her Beetle. And there was a little ladybug beetle in the grass. And like it became something that was like it was my DNA, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the success, like I said, like even to today, I mean, the packaging has changed. The company now owns it.
The logo is still the same, right?
It's still, the logo
There's
is
like
still
a little logo in there, and then it's sort of more
corporatized.
Standard.
Yeah.
So when did the digitization of this come? You're not uploading things. You've it hard drives. Then what happened?
No, I actually don't even think we ever ended up doing any of that. Like, I don't even remember having a CMS on the website. I think it was like a PDF.
No, I think you had to call us every time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, by the way, can you put New Zealand on there? And they're like, /NZ. And then we're like, oh, can we go into the US? Can you put the US on there? So I designed the packaging overnight.
Yeah.
That was overnight, success, but it was runaway success in this product. Because if I remember, it was like within 12 months, you had full national ranging in the like big pet stores, right?
Yeah. It was, so I've never met an American that doesn't love an Australian.
Yes.
So my time in the US was like every American was like, I've got an Aussie friend. Now you're here. I'm going to help you out. And this thing just scaled like crazy. But we're getting carried away here.
Yeah.
You're the guest on our show. I can't thank you enough.
Story, though.
Cool. I can't thank you enough for all of that. It really did put Sim and I and now the girls into a fantastic position. And, Kate and I sit on this couch. She introduces me as the founder of Petloo. It's still very much in me. But Juz, that's your history. You are now working from Creative Cubes here in South Melbourne, where we're filming today, working with companies around artificial intelligence. So do you want to just give us a snapshot and then teach us everything we need to know very quickly, because AI is just a runaway train at the moment.
That's it. It's crazy pace to stay up with, right? So that agency, Hard Hat, landed up, I got about 17 and a half years in. We were working with some of the biggest, Australian and global brands. Externally, it was a big success. We were working with great creatives. But I'll be honest, like internally, I probably wasn't as connected with all that success. There was something that wasn't gelling for me in it, and eventually made the decision to exit the business, sold my share to my partner, and when I got out, I had this like beautiful oxygen. I don't know if you remember that moment, right?
I remember you.
Well, in your moment, any founder, the second the emails stop, and the needs and requirements from everyone, it's like, oh wow, I can dream about what's next.
Yep.
But that pretty quickly gave away to sort of that feeling of irrelevance as well.
Sure.
Right? Like it becomes really empty. You were really important in so many people's lives, and then who are you? I was Justin from Hard Hat, and now I'm like Justin from what?
Yep.
Don't know. My timing was fortuitous. October 2022, I've exited. 6 weeks later, ChatGPT launches.
Crazy.
And guess who had a lot of time in his hands and loves diving down rabbit holes. And so I started dabbling with it, and probably like a lot of people was like, oh yeah, this is cute. Move on to it. Then come back a few days later. At the same time, I was getting really passionate, and I was studying to become a flow coach. So the neuroscience of peak performance, understanding human brain, how we can be more creative, how we can, obviously get more done in that creative zone. And I got to this crisis point, because I'm like, on one hand, I'm going deep into like the human brain. On the other hand, I'm going deep into the robots. I'm like, I got to pick a lane. These things are really in conflict with each other. And I had a navel gazing moment one day where I was sitting there in my brain cave, as I called it, and I was like, no, the bit that I'm passionate about for AI is how it can unlock human potential.
Yeah,
fully agree.
So cool.
How we can give the robotic tasks to the robots so that we can be more human.
Yep, and free. No, like I look at like when Optimus comes out and Elon's pumping out 50,000 robots a year. I am fully going. I'm gonna go and buy a couple. One can do my lawn, the other one can clean the pool whilst cleaning the house, and I'm free to kind of focus on work or do nothing.
Yeah, it's exciting time. That's probably not as far away as we think it is, right?
No, next year.
Yeah, so I started doing that, and then I thought I literally had, and so I went and did my first workshop. In fact, I delivered a piece of work, a piece of consulting work, an EVP, an employee value proposition, and company values and everything. And in the past at Hard Hat, that would have been like a 6 people, 6 weeks, $60,000 project.
Yeah.
And I had sat down to do this project, and I had got through it in the best part of 6 hours. And I was like, this was March 2023.
AI.
Yeah, using ChatGPT. And I was like, uh-oh. And then one of my other favorite presentation tools, Gamma, which if listeners haven't tried that, get onto it. Mm-hmm. And I went back to that client, and I was like, the work is cool. I'm going to do the work, but can I get your leadership team in a room? Because if I solve this one problem, imagine how many other things are sitting like in that cognitive overload that the rest of the exec team are carrying around, and what other problems could we solve?
Wow.
And it was an incredible day. And then I saw this thing and I'm like, holy shit, I've got 3 months to train the whole world on AI if I'm going to make anything of this business, because as soon as people see this, like everyone's going to be onto it.
Totally.
But that wasn't the case. Mm-hmm. People were looking at it, they're like, oh, you can't use it in business. Oh, it's not safe. Oh, I don't have time to learn something new. I'm too busy. All these kind of excuses. And it was a bit demoralizing, actually, because I saw this potential in there. But I kept with it. And look, I think, definitely 2024, there was a rush, and I'm seeing like 10, 100 times that rush the start of this year. Like people know it's here to stay, and they need to understand it. And so I'm loving it. I've gone all in on it. I'm doing corporate workshops. I'm doing group workshops. I'm doing, I've got online coaching programs. I'm doing specializations around marketing, specializations for grads, for CEOs. And then look, the real frontier this year is around automation. But I think like just the learning from that journey.
As in workflow automation?
Workflow automation,
yeah. I think it's huge. I think it's a, like we think about, so I'm a huge fan of Tesla. I'm a huge fan of Elon. I love what they're trying to do. One of the things that I'm fully subscribed to, amongst a lot of other things, is their delete process. So they're trying to take stuff out of their processes.
Yeah.
They're like deleting stuff unnecessarily. That's an unnecessary, which creates costs, which then puts their products at another price point. And we had a leadership offsite on Wednesday here for the Creative Cubes management team, and I really pushed the tech guys and the dev guys, systems and processes. I was like, hey, what steps can we take out of the process, and how can we leverage AI to sort of streamline our efficiencies and help people become more fluid in their day-to-day.
And it's that trust factor, isn't it? Once you get the first response back that you go, hey, that sounds like me, then you've got that trust to keep going with it. I know in our organisation at BeFit Food, if people don't use ChatGPT, I feel like, God, they're wasting time on the clock. Like you can get this done in 30 seconds.
That's right.
Like stop handwriting that out. Just press the voice button, talk into this thing and let it give you something to start with. Let's go from there.
That's right.
So you love the voice. Advanced voice mode is unbelievable, right?
Yeah. As soon as I discovered that, when I'm driving, completely hands-free, hey, get it to write stuff and you've got a starting point for everything. And obviously there's nothing it does that you don't want to reread and check. And I think that's the part where people lose the trust is they think it's going to spit out the perfect thing. And over time it might. I know Tony Robbins is, gracing the world with his presence in AI now, and you can get the Tony Robbins AI. I was listening to that.
I think we can actually get a Spanish Justin Kabbani or
we're gonna
a Japanese Justin
I was on the
Kabbani.
trial for that because I'm all in on Tony as well. I love Tony Robbins. I was on the trial for that group. And it's pretty cool. But, in fact, I'm going to give you a little example there. I had a moment probably a year ago now where I was out swimming in the ocean. I was out with a friend. I was trying to keep up with him. I am not built as an ocean swimmer and got really puffed out, had a freak out moment that I thought I was going to drown.
Yeah.
Everything landed up being okay. When I got out, I was really shaken. And I got 4 kids at home. I got a busy life. I went home. There wasn't a lot of time to debrief. Yeah. And my wife jokingly said to me afterwards, "Oh, what are you going to do? Talk to ChatGPT about it?" I was like, "That's a brilliant idea." So I did that, and I went and I said, I described everything that was going on and how I was feeling, like my lungs were feeling compressed, all this stuff, and then I said, "Can you give me some reasons why I'm feeling this?" And went into physical reasons, metaphysical, spiritual. And then I said, I want you to now act as Tony Robbins and coach me through this experience. I want you to act as Sadhguru and coach me through this experience. And it was that incredible moment where, people see ChatGPT, something can rewrite their emails or, help make that annoying office speech. It's so much more than that. It's a human enabler. It's a potential enabler. And it's an amazing democratizer.
And it's actually bringing the world together, not pulling the world apart. And so the people that are against it think that it's all going to be robots, there'll be no human connection, but actually it's bringing people closer to know people more intimately and to stop wasting time doing
I'm hoping it actually creates more freedom.
Freedom.
So it takes care of the like I said, like the laundry and the cleaning and the kitchen, maybe not talking into ChatGPT, but eventually there'll be robots and stuff that actually you can tell it what to do, which then frees me up to spend more time with Sims, spend more time with the kids, go on hikes with the dogs, all that sort of stuff. I'm seeking freedom.
I feel like anything I say about a feature or function is going to just age so quickly. But this week or the week before, they released Operator in ChatGPT. And Operator is something that can, when it's got a query, it can launch its own browser. It can go off and do things. And that's ChatGPT's foray into automation. But, this is the 2025 opportunity. 2024 was about writing a great prompt, doing something in the moment, solving a problem, working with AI. 2025 is really about getting it to do work while we sleep.
Yep.
Because we can now get these things to log into our email, to triage our emails for us, to respond to the simple ones, to log things in HubSpot for us, to make an outbound phone call, to offer someone some times that they want to book in. We can get all this stuff done now with automation. And I think, in fact, I know that by the end of this year, like way more companies than we think will be using automation as just part of their everyday process. Yeah. It's going to come in faster than what the use of ChatGPT has.
So, as you're talking, it reminds me of the Kodak story. Kodak was such a force in, I don't know, the 80s and 90s, maybe 70s, 80s and 90s, 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. They were such a force and they had access to the digital camera and they poo-pooed it. And today Kodak's irrelevant and Instagram is such a runaway train.
Same as Blockbuster and
exactly,
Netflix.
Exactly.
Should have taken the deal.
So what I'm trying to get to out for our listeners is that some people are, AI, it's scary, da-da-da-da-da. My fear is if you don't, dare I say, lean in, which is a huge value add to everything that I do. If you don't lean in, you could end up becoming Blockbuster. Yeah. You could end up becoming Kodak. And the disruptions of companies used to be, hundreds of years. Today, it's sometimes minutes, but like realistically, you've only got a few years to really gain traction and get going and stay up. Otherwise, you're going to become like history pretty quickly. And so for that, Juz, what's the call to action here? How do people get in touch with you to learn more about how you can help them navigate what's becoming quite an overwhelming, like unknown black hole for these organizations that they could fall into and be gone?
What I'm going to throw out there is that for your listeners, I'm going to organize a special Zoom call where I'm going to take them through how they can save 30 plus hours per week just using some basic processes that I've set up and that I use. But heading to justinkabbani.com, to my website, we'll link to wherever the latest workshops are. What I know for sure is that you can learn it today, you can learn it in 6 months, you can learn it in a year, but you're going to learn how to use AI. It's ubiquitous. It's in every piece of software. It's in your iPhone.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yep.
So whether you learn it now or you learn it later, the only thing that's going to change is the amount of competitive advantage that you're going to get.
That's right.
Or lose.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just do it now. Just spend, even in one day, you can achieve an incredible level of expertise. This is the easy, we're building first websites for people, first apps, all this stuff. This is the easiest new tech to learn, and it has by far the biggest impact. So look, a one-day workshop can absolutely transform your understanding and the way that you operate in your business.
And for the dinosaurs out there, I guess this is like when the internet first launched and people are like, I'm not going to touch that. Yep. And it's everywhere.
Yep.
AI is doing the same. So for the people that are going, it's not for me, well, it's actually for everyone.
I also think about like those people that were resistant to get rid of their Blackberries.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? Like people were like,
My wife,
I'll never get rid of my Blackberry.
Sim was one of those people.
Right?
Yeah, actually, Orion Flam, shout out to Orion Flam from Flair Real Estate, pushed me off my Blackberry onto my iPhone.
Yeah.
And then I pushed him out of his diesel guzzling car into a Tesla. And so we bounce off each other a little bit like that.
So back then we thought it was like keyboard versus touchscreen.
Yeah.
That wasn't what it was about. It was about App Store. And now we do so much of our computing on our touchscreen phones, right?
Yep.
And that's the same with AI. It's not about like taking over jobs or any of those sorts of things. It's about how we can give those robotic tasks to the robots, how we can take 50% of everyone in our organization's roles and give them to AI, give them to automation, so people can actually elevate to the reason why we hired them in the first place, to do what they want to do. And that's the thing that excites me most, is when I get to see someone delivering a piece of work that they love and that is in their highest value zone.
So if anyone wants a personal assistant, they get one. That's what your
Everyone.
AI is.
And what I heard was Justin Kabbani. I'll link it all in the show notes, but justinkabbani.com will push you right into Justin's world, who is there to help you achieve this. It's not scary and foreign when you've got someone like Justin right there writing it with you. Juz, absolute pleasure.
It's awesome.
Thank you for coming on, and thank you for everything you've done. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, so cool. Can't wait to get into it.
Look forward to see what you do with the show as well.
Thanks, mate. wearelunar.co is a great place for you and your business to start off with phenomenal accounting and legal services. So if you're a startup or a scale-up looking for legal and finance support, or alternatively looking to raise capital, wearelunar.co is where you need to be starting off.
Okay, debrief.
Yeah, debrief on that, Kay. What did you think?
All I can think about is how important it is to have an open mind and a curious mind. The people that said no to the internet, and I think AI was seen as this really scary, don't trust it. And the only people that really ran forward with it were the entrepreneurs that went, if this can give me more freedom, more time, save me money to do the things I want to do. Apparently there's only two things in life. There's work and love, said one of the famous philosophers. So there's more time for love.
Yeah. I was just trying to think like work and love, and now I think AI. but like I digress. I introduced my kids to ChatGPT by asking ChatGPT to write me an Eminem, a poem written by Eminem about whatever they wanted to talk about, and I just put this stuff on the screen, and I just watched their eyes light up. When I think about the use cases for AI today in my world, I talked about it a little bit with Justin, but like when he was on the show, but I just think about the freedom. And it worries me a little bit, not to the negative of what AI could turn into, but actually it worries me a little bit around the relevancy of some organizations today if they don't lean in on it.
That's right. And if they see it as a threat, they won't exist, because people will create things much quicker, much cheaper, much more efficient. And I think the thing that scares me is the people that are not adapting are actually probably going to use it in the wrong ways. And I know I judge business awards and bits and pieces. You can see when someone submits their ChatGPT responses and we don't even read them. We're like delete. So don't do that. Check your work.
I think it's really important that you have human oversight to it all. I know I write a lot of blog posts. I write a ton of emails. And sometimes when I'm trying to get a point across, I really do lean on ChatGPT. Actually, XAI is my preference. Again, I'm really subscribed to Elon, but I just think it's just a superior product. But I do lean on it a lot. Not lean on it a lot, but when I do, I really got to have that oversight, making sure that actually they've got it wrong here. You've got to clean these things up. Otherwise, to your point, you're not going to connect with the audience the way you want to.
Do you know what I use it for? In leadership, when you just want to download and you're so freaking emotional, and I get it all out, and then I say, please take the emotion out of this, be really practical, and
I love that.
Give me something that is rational, fact and evidence-based, and just not a raving person.
No, I've actually found myself in heated moments as well, and I've done exactly the same. I've tried to stick it to people, but when I give it the command prompts, I'm like, stick it to them hard, but be firm and professional, have a backbone, but give the facts, give the data, give the support. Kate, fantastic episode. JustinKabbani.com. It's all linked in the show notes below, guys. I'll see you on the next episode.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Kate.